All right. Get a few things going here. It's just next to impossible to be fully prepared for this show. I don't know. I miss the early days of the pandemic because I could just, I don't know, see it all, do it all, like devote every waking hour of the day to this show because I had like nothing else better to do. Whatever. All right, we're good. Let's get this going. Kind of flying blind. Oh, that's camera 2, which works now. Hey, so bright. God, I gotta turn that off. Whatever. Welcome, Carly. Cheers. Long day, long week, whatever. Episode 84. Welcome. So, before we get to the show, just a quick shout out. So we want to, it's good news, like welcome Tate Zachary Mockler to the world. Kara was a big friend of the show, still is, in the early days. And then, yeah, that's right. Let's see those hearts. Let's see those hearts, Facebook land. Anyway, Kara and then like her dog Ryder was like a big star in the show for like the longest time. And then they moved to Florida, her and Dan, and now they have Tate. So that just happened. And it's funny too, because like I was like talking to her. No, Beck. Hey, hi, thank you. I was talking to her. God, I'm gonna like turn this damn light off. It's so bright. Give me like 2 seconds. I'll keep talking. So, like I got the word she was a new mom, and like yay, great. And then I texted her. There we go. It's a tiny bit there. Texted her and I was like, "Oh, when'd you have your baby? When'd you have Tate?" And she's like 90 minutes ago. Like, get off your phone. Go. But chances are she's probably like nothing else better to do. Like Tate was probably getting like counted for fingers and toes and all that stuff. And she probably was just like bored out of her mind. So whatever. Let's see real quick. God. One day I'll fix the studio. Anyway, welcome. Cheers if you're on. Good stuff. So tonight, 1984. Well, not gonna lie. I mean, I chose the topic just because it's episode 84, which the rumors are true. This show will self-destruct after episode 100, unless I can convince myself otherwise. So, it's one of those things. It's like the show has sort of run its course. I had long debated just like scrapping the show months ago. I was like, I'm kind of done with it. But no, we'll keep it going for just like a little while longer, at least to 100 episodes, and we'll go from there. So chances are I may kill it, but I may keep it going. You can all have your Thursday nights back. Anyway, cheers, whoever's on. Cheers. I was 10 years old. I've always been fascinated with the year 1984. And not so much because of the book which was a horrible movie, by the way. If you ever actually saw the movie 1984, it's a horrible movie. That deserves like a redo. Like Dune, the movie came out in 1984, like the original, and it was awful. Like it's, I don't care that it's a cult classic now. It was an awful movie. And the remake, which I haven't seen, I hear it's amazing. I'm dying to see it. Hey, Aaron, cheers, man. I'm dying to see it. I need to go see it. But yeah, some things are better left in the past, but some things were great in the past. I was 10 when it was 1984. And like 10 is that age where at least for me, you start to get a sense of the world. Not quite your place in the world. You're not there yet, but you're starting to get the sense of, hey, there's a big world around me. Whatever grade you're in at the time, wherever you are in the world at the time, chances are you're in school or increasingly homeschool, and you're like, oh, there's like more than like me and my house and my buddy's house and school and maybe church if that's your thing, and like some other house with whatever, and that's it. Like it's you start to get a sense of the world, and maybe you as a kid you did sports, whatever. And I remember in those days in 1984, everything was like USA versus USSR, whatever. And it's like silly now because, well, it's still that. It's and worse. I don't know. It's just whatever. But yeah, sports. That's right, sports. It was not a huge part of my upbringing, whatever. And like, what was going on in '84? Like it to me, and I'll be honest, like to me, that was like the beginning of the end of the pure years. I always have this thing where, and I was trying to find something online here. Like I'm trying to, yeah, it's gone now, whatever. Like to me, like the world went to pot when Johnny Carson went off the air. And some of you are like, who's Johnny Carson? I don't know who that is. I don't know your old-timey references. And he was an old-timey man, but he was great. But yeah, like from 84 on, that's when I feel like we sort of were at our peak. Some will say like we were peaked as a species in our 90s, as a species, thank you, in our 90s. And others will argue that no, it was really the 80s. My buddy Dan, or Don, excuse me, he'll attest to that. Like the 80s were it. It sucked from the 90s on. Whatever, but like for me, from like 84 to 92, like that's when, at least for me, you may beg differently, but the world was kind of at its peak, you know. We all sort of knew our place in the world, but that wasn't necessarily a good thing either. So I don't know. By the way, like just quickly back to 1984. Again, a horrible movie, great book. If you haven't actually read that, like you should read it. Before that actually gets on like some banned list, because wouldn't that be lovely? But yeah, Top Gun wasn't out yet. It will be soon. I think the idea was hatched in 83 or 84 for the show. The movie. Have you seen the new one? I have yet to, whatever. Anyway, and again, if you're just joining, welcome. We got some viewers from YouTube and Twitch and Twitter as well. So welcome all those folks. I don't know some of you, like weird scream names. You're all Russian bots, and you're all mad because of 1984 and Rocky IV and, But it had a happy ending. I thought. I don't know. Whatever. Now Dolph Lundgren is an Old Spice model, I guess. Still looks good for, geez, I think he's 92. It's not 92. It's like 60 something. Whatever. Anyway, 1984 was a weird year, and I wish I was older. Like, I wish I would have understood, like the significance of Chernenko taking over the USSR. I wish I would have understood like that, like assuming power. But in those days, like I didn't know any of the players. I just knew Reagan, and I loved. By the way, I was like Alex P. Keaton smitten with Reagan. Like, to me, Reagan had survived death and survived. Like, I don't know, like I was so in, like as a 10-year-old kid, like what the fuck do I know about politics or any of that stuff? But like up until very recently, when I stopped being a Republican, and I'm still not a Democrat, and I'm not in any party anymore, but I was the quote unquote Reagan Republican for the longest time, because that was just like my influence, whatever. 84 was a weird year too, because like, the meme, thank you for coming to my TED Talk. The TED conference started in that year. Like, who knew? I know that because of Wikipedia. So I did my research. I'm a researcher. I did my homework for this episode. Anyway, another drink. Take a drink. And then look at this, and I just quickly look at the actual screen. Well, sorry about the sound here, but yeah. So that's Bruce McCandless the second. That's actually him, like literally floating in a manned, untethered, whatever. That was from 1984. That was an actual like live spacewalk. That's pretty cool. Two other space farers, astronauts, whatever, also accomplished that same feat that same year. Both women, and one a cosmonaut. And that was not reported because all the love went to Brucey here. And that was just product of the times. Like, I don't know. If you're not an Apple Plus subscriber, Apple TV Plus or whatever, get like a free trial, whatever, and watch, stream, binge, whatever, For All Mankind. That is good TV. So I'm like really big into revisionist history, alternate history shows. Man in the High Castle, I was like totally into that. For All Mankind, it's in its third season, and that's a show where like it basically says, okay, the Russians actually did beat the U.S. to the moon. So the first season, it's kind of based loosely in this like late 60s into mid 70s. Just all about what would have happened had the Soviets beat us to the moon. And then because of that, like, we just start going bananas. We're going to like win the space race now. And because of that, like, we propel ourselves technologically. So it alters world events and world history in a really fun, cool way, according to the show. Lady Di survives, but she's no longer princess. Like things like that kind of happen. The second series was all 80s. And like in the 80s, like we're carrying cell phones. We are charging cars with like clean energy. like electric charging. Like we're there already. So I love shows like that. The third season, it's based in the 90s now, but we're headed to Mars already. So I love shows like that, but like those shows make me sad too, because I know by now we should have like colonized the moon, like we should have like space stations and trips and all this stuff. The show's cool. Like there's like a hotel, like a space hotel now, which is kind of neat. So I'm still watching the show. If you haven't watched it, you should see it. So yeah, like, I don't know. It was episode 84. I'm like, all right, I'll do like an 84 kind of thing, whatever. And then it dawned on me. I was like, all right, think of like, world events and art and culture and politics and whatever. And like, the movies of the day and the music. Oh yeah. Like 1984, the movie, or the album from Van Halen. So that was also like the last David Lee Roth album, and then it goes to Van Hagar, which fine, whatever. If you re-listen to that album again, it's like any Van Halen album where like 3 or 4 songs are really good and the rest are throwaways. But listen to Drop Dead Legs again. That's the one that kind of ushers in the Hagar years without us knowing that Hagar's like even in the fix. So I don't know, whatever. Anyway, so that's the show. It's a short one tonight. It doesn't have to be like a big thing, whatever. Next week, episode 85, and that'll be kind of a longer one. So this one's a little shorter. Next week will be a little longer. Return of the interviews. So we'll drop an interview on you, and then a few more video segments. So it'll start to feel like, one of the old episodes from yesteryear. And at that point, 15 more episodes. And then that's it. Unless things change. I don't know. But that'll be it. It's the final count. I think that song was like 85, 86. I don't know, whatever. Anyway, that's it. But check out the credits. They're always awesome. Take care, folks. We're good. Good night.
That's bullshit.
Hey, where's the beach club at? I'm looking for the flats. Where? Where is it?